But they may not tell you this anywhere else in the paper. Talk some more about this when we get into the discussion section. There'll be like a statement or two about the contradictory results, or you'll be able to see, or you'll be able to see it for yourself in one of the figures that are in the paper, and then they'll just kind of slide past it for the rest of the paper. Maybe not what we should do, but it's what not everybody does this, but it happens quite a bit. So, do people's conclusions follow from the results? Yeah. People have a little bit of a tendency, in spite of what I was just saying about the typical outcome, is that you conclude that even though your results were mixed, your hypotheses were basically the right idea. Sometimes you explain them away by explaining what's wrong with your study or something. So do the authors acknowledge the problems at all? And then also, if they talk about application of the ideas that go from the results, do you think that they're consistent with the results? People, particularly, I'm going to say this, I'm not actually sure whether this is generally true or not, particularly people who don't do practical stuff as well as do research, tend to have a lot of problems with the application kind of piece, and they often kind of come up with fairly standard canned applications. And they pretty often don't actually match the results. Sometimes they don't match the results or the hypotheses. So you've got results that kind of point you in one direction, and you say, well, so people out in the practice world ought to do X. And more often than not, X is what people were sort of doing anyway before the study was done. You can kind of catch people up in this and say, yeah, I don't think so. Okay. So this is kind of the overview of how to look at the articles. The PowerPoints, as of this morning, are actually posted on the Blackboard site. There are, you probably found these yourselves, but there are things under the course menu thing on the left-hand side. Both the reserve readings and the PowerPoints will be there. The reserve readings are already there. I think they're all there. And the PowerPoints will show up, as they get posted. Again, we'll kind of keep going over this in the form of actually, going over readings for classes, starting in a couple of weeks anyway, doing some of this with you, and then you'll kind of keep seeing this. But all that said, any questions or thoughts as we wrap up? It's going to be fun to have a big class. It's going to be an interesting and diverse group of people. See you in a couple of weeks. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. The class meets next week, but I won't be here. I'll be cavorting in the streets of Montreal. Yeah, next week is actually going to be the memory lecture that is marked in the syllabus as being 2 weeks from now. And then the following week we'll do the speed, attention, sensory processes, and all that. Yes, sir. So for the syllabus, what you want to look at for next week is September 10th. And then we'll do September 3rd on September 10th. And after that, we'll try to stay on in a consistent time frame. Oh yeah, traveling's always fun. Yes. And we'll be in 2:30 next.